Okay, here we are hooked up to a 2006 International. It's got a 4300 in it. We do have an ABS light on, and we're going to try out this Bosch KTS truck ESI Tronic, as they like to call it. So what we'll do is we will go ahead and click on the scan to vehicle button right here, and let's just let it go. So what I've really noticed so far playing with this thing is it's not the quickest. It tends to take a while to do stuff. So I don't know if that's because the tablet system they have just doesn't have much horsepower under the hood, which I have looked at the specs and they're really, it's pretty minor. It's not much of a processor, it's not much RAM in there, but I guess you really don't need a lot of stuff either to just hook up and read these things. So we'll just keep waiting for it. I'm trying to get a little better angle there to get it out of the sun. Why don't we maybe do it that way a little bit. Alright, there we go. So we hit connect, then it goes, and now it's going to show us all the different modules that it is connected with. So we can see on here, up here, we have our multiplex, which is the cab controller. Whoops, didn't mean to hit that right away, but we have that. We also have our ABS, we have our engine, we have our dash cluster, and we have an Allison transmission. So first thing first, let's go check out this engine. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the engine and hit view faults. And again, oh, being used by another application. That must mean because I was disconnected. So there it goes, it's trying it anyway. Now that's probably because I was just in here before I started the video, and what I did was gone into the engine and then the ABS and then went all the way back out so I could reconnect and kind of show everybody what it does. So now it's having to reconnect under the engine module. So let's see what happens here once it goes. And again, it does take it a little bit of time to actually connect. So you spend a lot of time just kind of sitting here twiddling around waiting, but that's okay. Alright, great. So now it's actually in the engine module, and we see we have an old code here, PID 71, FMI 14, for idle speed shutdown, regulator status, special instructions. It's inactive, and there's no counts on it, which is actually kind of typical in Internationals. A lot of these ones, this is a 2006, sometimes they just didn't count the codes. So in this case, we'll hit the little continue button down here. Actually, no, you know what? Let's hit the troubleshooting button. So we hit troubleshooting, and now we get some instructions. So it knows it's inactive, so basically it's saying clear the codes and verify the problem's been resolved. If I tap that guy, it'll say the same thing, perform a road test and verify it's been resolved. So, but let's tap the little fault info so we can get some more details here. And now it's saying, it tells you exactly why the error got set. The error takes place in the time limit, when the limit time in the idle shutdown timer is reached. So basically the code's getting set because the truck's idling for too long and then shutting itself off. But if we want to find some more information, we can actually click the info and image, then we hit continue. And it's actually going to tell us where the ECU is, right? This isn't telling us anything about the code, but it actually tells us the engine ECM is right there. We can hit info and see if it does anything. It doesn't. Let's go back. Alright, so let's try it under sections instead of, let's do that. Let's try wiring diagram. And click continue. Alright, so let's check out the circuit diagram for this. Then we hit continue. And we'll actually pull up a circuit diagram. So there it is. You can actually use the keys to zoom in if you want. Now it's not a true touch screen where you can't just, it doesn't work too well, kind of, dragging things around like this. But we're doing it. There's also buttons down here to go to the next page. Alright. Let's check out what this symbols button does. I'm assuming this will give us, this will just tell us what all the different diagrams mean. And obviously there is a whole bunch of them. But a very good quick reference for anybody that needs it. Hit the back. And let's hit continue and see what that does. Alright, so again that just brings us back to the same diagram we saw earlier. We'll go back, let's check out the schematic outline of the fuel system just to see what they have in there. Alright. So the component is not present in the selected configuration. Please select our configuration. Display the component wiring diagram. Alright, hit OK. But there is there's the fuel injection system. I see the different 6 HUE fuel injectors. Let's hit continue and see what goes next. And again, back to where we were. So back. Alright, so we have an inactive code. And obviously that code just because the engine's turning off because of the idle shutdown. So let's go all the way back out and let's check another one. So we know the ABS light's on. So let's go over here and let's actually check out the ABS code. So again, not the speediest of all applications, but it obviously does work. So let's see how good this is. Let's see how much it tells us about the ABS system, since we do have a code. And there we are reading the memory. And ABS sensor, second axle right. Wow. And now we are back in and hooking up to a truck. So let's see what we can do this time. So it's trying to connect. The thing with these devices is here's the actual vehicle interface device. We're looking for these lights right here. There's 2 of them, and I've been told you want them green. Alright, so there's some different, look at the manual, there's some information on the flashing, what they mean when they're flashing, how quick they're flashing. I've never really gotten into it or read much more about it, probably should, but they're both green, so we should be good to go. So obviously not going very quickly so far. I do have my key in the on position, and I'm hooked up through my 9-pin. This truck does have a battery shut off, but we are on. So let's just give it some time here and see what happens. So far I can say this has not been a very pleasant experience, not been very quick for a tool that cost, well north of $7,000. So, just keep giving it a shot here. Trying to get rid of that reflection we got going on. Alright, connection supply with KT chip, loss of power supply. Alright, so what I usually do in these situations is turn the key off. At least that's the way it works on the big trucks. Turn the key off. Remove the adapter from down here. Take it out and we'll plug it back in. Turn the key back on. We had a red light there for a second. Now I got red and green again. Green and green. And they're blinking like crazy. So what we'll do is we'll go back up here and we will try to connect again. So maybe I should have unplugged it from the adapter from the tablet. Nope, I think we're good. Yep, there we go. Alright, so last time we were in the brakes. So let's go see how much troubleshooting is in the brake system here. So we'll do more information for that. Or view faults, I should say. And after this, we'll go back to the engine. We'll try some actual tests, because that seems what everybody really cares about. They want to do injector cutout test, force regens, maybe go play with the parameters a little bit, max road speed, idle shutoff, cruise control. So we'll see how much we can actually do with this thing. Alright, so there it is. ABS, second axle, intermittent or incorrect data. Let's go down here at the continue button. Let's hope it doesn't crash this time. If it does, I guess we'll be reporting a bug to BOSCH. Alright, there we go. Finally went. So I don't like, I mean, at least it tells you the ABS sensor, the second axle, and this is a single axle truck, rear axle, so I'm assuming it's the second axle from the back, so it's or from the front, so it's the back right axle that has the sensor problem. You know, I wish they had a little bit more information here on troubleshooting or what to go do or what to go look for, but I guess like most technicians, people just go swap out a sensor and call it a day. So let's just go back and let's try troubleshooting. Maybe that'll give us something more for that code. I think patience is one of the things you need with this device as well. Ah, here we go. Now we get a lot more. So first of all, it's saying identify the appropriate FMI, and look at it. It's actually giving us some troubleshooting steps. Wheel speed sensor, rear axle, right. You know, why didn't it just say that before? But yeah, look, there's everything in there that you need to know. And I'm thinking we can actually probably click some of these as go to wiring diagram. So let's look at this one. Yeah, there it is. There is the wiring diagram. Just looking there to see what I see. And boy, I really wish I knew offhand what all those different symbols meant, because it's not too helpful now, but I guess that's why they have the symbols option there to go check it out. So, looks like Bosch did redraw all the wiring diagrams themselves. Sometimes you see people that have things, just kind of steal them out of the OEM manuals, but it looks like they did redo them. That's probably why they put the big Bosch watermark behind it as well. So, let's go all the way back. Let's go hook up to some engine stuff. That's really the cool stuff that we want to see on this thing. So again, you know, you can see it's kind of stuck here. The whole menu's not showing. I already hit the button once, so I guess we just kind of wait here for a second. There we go. Patience is a virtue. Alright, so let's go to engine. And let's hit continue. And let's see what we can do with this bad boy. So, I'm sure once the engine starts up here, we'll hop in the cab and close the door. Maybe it'll be a little bit quieter, and we'll see if we can run some engine tests. So this whole unit is available with the cables and the tablet, or you can buy just the software, or we do sell it with a fully rugged tough book as well. So, all right, so let's just check some of these. Identification, and then we'll do engine information. Let's just see what engine we have in this. All right, 220 horsepower, DT466, 2300 RPM. Doesn't get much more simple than that. Vehicle information. So there we go. It gives us VIN, how much fuel it's used, how far it's gone, and which is actually, look at 137,924 miles. You look at the odometer, it says 137,930, so it's a little bit off, but that's kind of typical for these things as well. And engine operating hours. All right, what happens if we hit continue down here? Oh, just goes back to the main menu. So let's just go back, and let's go to special functions, because I really want to see what's in this thing. Okay, cruise control, speed limiter, maximum cruise control status, idle shutdown timer, maximum vehicle speed, speed limiter status. So let's just see here, maximum vehicle speed. Alright, so it tells you it's 75 is what it is set for. I don't see anywhere to change it. We'll hit the continue button. Oh, enter new speed limiter. Alright. So let's just change this. And on this thing, to get the keyboard to come up, you have to hit the little function button right there. So we'll hit function. No, it usually does it, but here's the shortcut right here. Brings up the menu for the virtual keyboard. So let's just set this thing for 76. Hit enter. Then we'll hit continue. It says processing. And now it says please turn power off and turn it on again. Once this is done, carry on with the test. Alright, so let's go here to the key. And we'll kill it here for 10 seconds. And let's go look at our adapter. And yeah, now the lights, there's only one light going instead of two. So it obviously did something. We'll go turn this thing back on again. Alright, so we got power back, so I think we waited our 10 seconds. We'll hit continue. Let's see what happens here. Oh, look at actual value 76, and it was 75 before, so very good. We hit continue, and we're back at the menu. So I'm assuming we could go change all those parameters. Doesn't look like there's any other parameters that are going to allow us to change. So we'll go back. Let's go to Actuators. Let's just see what's under this. Here we go. Here's all the tests we were looking for. Compression test, engine output signals, high and low, glow plugs, injector tests. Let's try the injector test. Let's just see what happens here. So we hit continue. Faults are not permitted in the system. Execution actuators depends on the executing order of the system. Blah blah blah. Hit continue. Alright, ECU decline their request. Check the necessary conditions. Okay, maybe I should have read that. Let's try that again. Probably have to be running. I thought maybe it'd be like the buzz test. Engine switched off. Faults are not permitted in the system. Depends on the execution of the actuations in the system. Make sure you start with the engine standard actuation. Oh, okay. So you gotta start the engine standard actuation. You can't go out of order. It's gonna make you do these other tests. So let's do that one first. Engine switched off, faults are not permitted. Make sure you start the engine standard actuation. That's what we're doing. Actuation completed. Okay, not sure what that did, but it did it. So now, let's try to go to the injector test. Oh, I just heard some buzzing going on out there in the cab, out in the engine. I still hear clicks going on, so I'm assuming it's trying the injectors one at a time. See if that picks up on some audio on there at all. So I do hear it going, and it says actuation test completed. So if I would have probably been paying attention, I could have probably actually heard and made sure each injector was clicking like it should. Whoops, clicked it twice. Alright, so those were engine off tests. These are engine started tests. Alright, so let's give this a try here. Try cylinder deactivation. I'm going to hop in the cab here and actually close the door. So we can see, hopefully hear a little bit as I'm running these things. Alright, so now we're running. We can hear the engine running. We'll try automatic cylinder deactivation. We'll hit continue. Alright, coolant temperature has to be above 170. And I doubt we're there. We're probably sitting there at like 140-ish. Alright. So while we're waiting on that, actually look at it. It's even gonna, I suppose 140 is the lowest. So it even tells you what your temperature is here. 71 degrees, 72. So it's heating up. Follow vehicle must be stationary. Engine must be switched on. Parking brake activated. No faults. Alright. So while we're waiting for that, let's go back. Let's just see if there's anything else we can do here. Engine standard actuation test. Hit continue. And again, it's telling us that our coolant has to be over 170. Man, just no fun at all. Engine supply test. Same thing. So all these tests are, but I'll tell you, while we're in here, why don't we just go read all these fault codes again? And we'll go ahead and clear them from memory. Alright, so actually what we should have done is clear faults. Alright. So now we go back, see if it actually has any codes in there. No faults in the memory. That's good because we just cleared them. So let's go back there again, and let's check out the transmission. Let's see what we can do in there. I wonder if we can do like reset the adaptive shift, or run kind of any solenoid tests. So those would be kind of interesting to see what our options are in there. Alright, so identification, we'll just check out and see what we have exactly. Does it read the serial number? Does it read everything on it? Yep, calibration data, software version, serial number, part reference. Yeah, that's all kinds of stuff in there. Alright, so do we have any fault codes for the transmission? There are no faults stored in the ECU memory. That's good. Alright, so let's check actuators. Let's see what we can do with this thing. Ooh, clutch tests, control and steps of solenoid valves, fault lamp, reversing indicator lamp. Alright, let's try this one. Oh, lamp status off. I turn it on. I was looking up here for anything. I didn't really see anything up on the dash that changed. Turn that back off. Oh, you know what it did? It did hear the, as soon as I turn that on, it does think it's in reverse because I hear the backup horn going. So I turn it off and it stops. Okay, so it's definitely working. Alright, I wonder what the clutch test is. Well, I'm sitting here warming it up. I'm not going to run that test. But it looks like there's a lot of tests that are built into this thing. Let me go back one and go to adjustment settings, and let's see what else we can do in here. Oh, accelerator pedal, rapid adaption tape. See, I used to call that the, well, something a little bit different. So, I think what this test does is after you shift 20 or so times, it kind of learns how you drive. I always called it like adaptive shifting. So they use a little bit different terminology for it, I believe. Alright. Yeah, no, everything's in there good. We still haven't got up past 140 on the old coolant temperature, so I'm just going to put my foot on the gas here a little bit. Just kind of get it revved up while we're waiting it so we can go play with it a little bit. So let's go check out the body system controller. let's see if we got any faults in there. I really wish this thing at the main menu would tell you how many faults from the main screen without having to go into each one. I think that'd be a nice little feature. And there's a fault code. It's an active fault. System 3 diagnose code, special instructions. Alright, let's hit continue. And not much here. Active fault, number 1, environmental data, not available. I will say historically that cab controller codes are very difficult on anything besides OEM software, so this isn't really surprising me too much. We'll hit back. Yeah, there's even no troubleshooting. So that's very unfortunate. We have an active code in here. We have no idea what System 3 diagnose code is. It could be anything. We do have a code and an FMI. So there's obviously something that exists out there. You probably have to go check out the international service manuals or some other program to try to figure out what that is. Let's hit back. Let's try actual values. And continue. And measure selection. Just see what comes up here. Okay, so I think what you can do here, if I had to guess, is you can monitor some stuff. So why don't we do, let's see what's in here. Fuel level sensor 1. Cruise control status. I'm going to continue. So it shows us the exact live data of those things. I will actually go turn the cruise. Right now it says status not available. Alright, so maybe I should have done like cruise control switch or something of that nature instead. So I just turned the cruise on and set it for the higher RPM to get the water temperature up. See it changing anything. So let me go back and let's try to do accelerator switch. Continue. Cruise control accelerator switch off. There we go. Yeah. So I'm hitting it to bump it up the RPMs, and it is registering on there. So. Pretty useful tool so far, I must say.